program is The Active Center. It's created by David Sepe.
Pronounced Sepe.
Pronounced Sepe.
You know, we all think we know the story of baseball's integration, right? But what if the way it actually went down was, well, a huge historic mistake? That's the massive, game-changing what if we're diving into today. So that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about here. Look, we celebrate baseball's integration as this massive triumph, and for good reason. But what if the way it happened left billions, with a B, billions of dollars, and this incredible cultural legacy just sitting on the table? I mean, everyone knows the story of Jackie Robinson, an unbelievable talent, just immense courage. His debut for the Dodgers? Monumental. It was absolutely essential, not just for baseball, but for the whole country. But here's the twist in this argument. That brave, necessary act was also kind of limited. And when you look at this timeline, it really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Baseball's integration, this wasn't just a sports headline. This was a pioneering moment in the civil rights movement. I mean, think about it. This happened a full year before the armed forces were integrated, 7 years before Brown v. Board of Education, and a whole 17 years before the Civil Rights Act. Baseball, it was the catalyst. Okay, so this is really the fork in the road. The path that history took was cherry-picking individual stars, right? Bringing them into the existing MLB teams. But the other path, the one we're digging into, was something way bigger, a full-on merger. We're talking about bringing over entire Negro League franchises, the whole shebang, owners, managers, scouts, all that incredible history, and making them a part of Major League Baseball. Right. So if this merger idea was actually a possibility, who are we talking about? Who was ready to jump to the big leagues? Well, let's meet the contenders. And let me tell you, these were not some small-time outfits. These were established powerhouse organizations. I mean, we are talking about absolute giants of the game here. You've got the Kansas City Monarchs, this rock-solid, stable franchise run by the one and only Buck O'Neil. Then there's the Homestead Grays, a dynasty that reeled off an unbelievable 9 straight championships. And you can't forget the Newark Eagles, co-owned by the trailblazer F.M. Manley, who were literally the reigning champs, coming off a Negro League World Series win in '46. Okay, to really get our heads around what a merger would have meant, let's just focus on one of these teams. Let's do a deep dive on the legendary Kansas City Monarchs. This will make the whole idea way more concrete. So what made the Monarchs so special? It wasn't just about the guys on the field. Sure, Kansas City is a mid-sized market, but the Monarchs brand, that was national. It was even international. This was the team of icons like Satchel Paige, and yeah, even Jackie Robinson for a little while. That's a powerful brand, you know? It's rooted in a history and a cultural meaning that you just can't buy. No expansion team could ever dream of replicating that. Okay, so let's put this into perspective with some real-world numbers. Right now, today, the MLB team in that exact same city, the Kansas City Royals, is valued at around $1.3 billion. Just keep that number in your head. That's our starting point. Now, let's look at the other end of the spectrum, the absolute tippy top. You've got a global brand like the New York Yankees, worth a mind-boggling $8.2 billion. That's the kind of value you get when a team's cultural impact is just massive, way bigger than just baseball. All right, so here it is, the multi-billion-dollar question. What if the Monarchs had joined MLB back in '47? What if they'd had the last 75-plus years to build on that incredible legacy? What would that team be worth today? The estimate? Somewhere between $2 and $4 billion. So you're probably asking, wait, why so much more than the actual Royals? Well, it's because the Monarchs brand would be one of a kind. It would be a living, breathing testament to the story of integration. That kind of cultural and historical power, it commands a huge premium. And you can see the difference right here. It's just stark. Even the low estimate for the Monarchs puts them way above the current Kansas City team. And at the high end, we're talking about a team in the absolute top tier of MLB valuations. It's a whole different league financially. But look, these giant dollar signs, they really only tell half the story. The real loss here, the real what if, goes so much deeper. It's about the very soul of the sport. So there was this sociologist, Gunnar Martel, and way back in 1944, he made this really smart point. He basically said that to get to racial equality, you needed these big, visible, public events to really change how people think. He literally wrote that publicity is of the highest strategic importance. And what was baseball's integration? It was the ultimate public event, with millions of people watching. And that's the whole ballgame right there. A full merger wouldn't have just been about adding black players to white team rosters. It would have woven the entire history, the struggle, the pride, the triumph of the Negro Leagues, right into the DNA of Major League Baseball. The Monarchs story wouldn't be some prequel. It would be MLB's story. Which brings us to this one last kind of unanswerable question. If the Monarchs had merged, if Jackie Robinson was just one of a whole bunch of stars coming into the league together, would he have had to carry that impossible weight all by himself? And if he didn't have to carry that singular burden, would he have become the Jackie Robinson we all know? It's a pretty powerful thought to leave you with, isn't it?
Hello, and thanks for listening. This is David Sepe and the Active Center team. For years, our mission has been to foster a community around engagement, health, and conversation. If you value what we do, please consider supporting us. We've started a GoFundMe to cover our production and operational costs, including those pesky social media fees. Your contribution, big or small, helps us keep going. Thank you.